Interest rates have been falling for several weeks, which should align perfectly for a busy spring selling season in the housing market, right? Nope, that is not happening quite yet. Although rates are trending down, the spring selling season is off to a sluggish start. Uncertainty is everywhere. Is inflation speeding up or slowing down? Is support for remote work ending? What will be the fallout of potential tariffs and trade wars? My job is to analyze the local and national real estate market conditions and help you successfully navigate continued upheaval. The real estate market is always changing, which is why we have put out these videos for going on 6 years now. There is no shortage of information and topics to talk about. Hi, I'm Jessica with the Genung team and Real Broker. If we haven't met yet, I am a realtor here in the Temecula Valley. Welcome back to the channel. Let's get right to it today. The spring selling season is off to a sluggish start, and I think of it as a tale of two cities. The majority of listings have slower buyer activity than we have seen over the past many years, and many of the properties that are selling often receive just a single offer. That is unless the property is a cream puff property with the great neighborhood, the pool, lots of remodeling, etc. We are still seeing multiple offers on those types of properties. Chris showed one of those homes last weekend to a client, and sure enough, they had 3 offers in hand with more potential verbal offers on the way. They were at an open house with many groups coming and going, and it was more reminiscent of the busiest times during and after the pandemic. You still want to move quickly on the hottest properties. But for the majority of homes, it has become much easier for buyers to get the terms they want. So have we turned a corner, and are we now entering buyer market territory in the Temecula Valley? This shift in the ease of purchase for buyers right now is likely only temporary, in my opinion. This is due to basic supply and demand principles. Inventory continues to be the driving force behind the housing market and affordability. We still have major supply side challenges to the tune of a shortage of 1.5 million housing units and construction costs that are rising at an unsustainable rate, which is making it increasingly difficult for builders to produce housing that is attainable for buyers and renters. In our area, new construction communities do seem to be selling slower, and therefore new community grand openings seem to be fewer. A major trend in new construction right now is smaller homes on smaller lots. I'm sure this is due to the high cost of construction, which we will dive into in a future video. My concern is that Murrieta Temecula area is going to end up like Irvine with the really small lots and crowded housing, but I hope not. Speaking of supply, the new listing stat that I analyze every month is very telling. I'll go over the full local housing market stats at the end of the video, but let's take a sneak peek at the new listing stat. Instead of new listings increasing month over month in Murrieta and Temecula, as we would expect as we're knocking on the door of the spring selling season, new listings have decreased in both cities month over month, not what we would typically expect to see this time of year. Let's touch on the national housing stats briefly with this article that is more of a inside baseball type of things for realtors. This is the Realtors Confidence Index as of January 2025, published a few weeks ago at the end of February. This is a survey from realtors across the country. There are a few interesting stats to pluck. 2.6 offers, up a little from 2.1 month over month. Demand is still outpacing supply in many areas. The 2.6 offers that they're seeing nationally, I actually think that's probably a little bit higher than what we're seeing here in our market. Next stat. 5% have a delay with an appraisal issue. This is similar to what we're seeing in our current market. Not a lot of issues with an appraisal issue. Definitely much lower than during the pandemic, where people are bidding up and over asking, where we saw a lot of low appraisals come in. So 5%, pretty similar to what we're seeing here. Next stat. Technology continues to play a bigger role in home buying, as 6% of buyers made their purchase based solely on a virtual tour. I would say actually this stat is probably a little bit high for our market, or certainly high for our business. We used to do a ton of virtual shopping and sending out videos to buyers that were relocating all over the country. And even we had a lot of military buyers stationed all over the world that were buying 100% virtual. We are not seeing that near as much lately. In fact, a lot of our relocation business is people living in Southern California, in San Diego, LA, Orange County, or even renting here locally locally. We're not seeing the people moving from out of state near as much as we did during the pandemic time. Still a little bit, but not near like before. Relocation has kind of been our niche, but a lot of our buyers, they're more local to Southern California at this time. Final stat of the confidence index, 29% all cash buyers. This signals a highly competitive market where well-funded buyers are bypassing financing hurdles to secure properties quickly. We sometimes see all cash buyers that are relocating from San Diego or Orange County or the Bay Area that have a lot of equity in their home. They sell it there, they pay cash here, but we are seeing less of that lately. So 29%, I actually kind of did the math on our current business. We have 5 escrows right now. One of those buyers is all cash, so that's 20%. And I would say that that is more indicative of what's going on in our market. On that note, let's switch gears to our local market. We'll break down what's happening in our area. As always, we look at single family homes only, which means like no manufactured homes, no condos, no land, just to keep it simple for you guys every month. So starting with median sales price, again, we're looking at Menifee, Murrieta, and Temecula. Menifee in a few of these stats is kind of going the opposite direction as Murrieta and Temecula. So we'll talk about that as we go along. So Menifee is the only city that does not have a year-over-year increase. February of this year versus February of last year was the exact same price. So any equity that was gained last year has just been completely flat in Menifee. Month over month, the sales price in Menifee has gone up $15,000 though. So that's a pretty good jump month over month. Moving on to Murrieta, let's start with year over year. Murrieta is up $8,000. So just a little bit, 1.4%. No, I'm sorry, 1.2% year over year, which that's actually pretty, very low for what Murrieta normally does year over year. That historically, that's a very low increase in equity. We'll see what happens next month if that bounces back up, because month over month, we do have a decrease in Murrieta of $10,000 on the median sales price. Temecula is blowing these other 2 cities out of the water, and I actually think that this month is a little bit of an anomaly. A lot of times we have 1 month pop and then it will settle down the next month, and that's what I expect to happen next month. We'll see. So year over year, Temecula has gained 15.9%. Or 115,000 in equity. So going completely opposite these other 2 cities where Murrieta was like anemic equity increase and Menifee's was completely flat. Well, Temecula's just went crazy. Month over month, they gained in Temecula 37,500 or 4.7%. Huge increase month over month, up to 840. I don't know if I have seen it go quite this high before. So we'll check the March stats once those post. I do expect that to settle back down a little bit, but the gap does continue to increase between the sales price of Murrieta and Temecula at this time. Number of closed sales, starting with Menifee, and again, Menifee is going the opposite direction of Murrieta and Temecula. So number of closed sales in Menifee is increasing month over month and year over year, while Temecula's and Murrieta's is decreasing. Let's start with month over month. You have an increase of 15 homes from January to February of this year. Year over year, you have an increase of 13 homes. This is still pretty anemic, by the way, for this time of year. This is lower than we typically see, but Menifee is still in the green on number of closed sales. Opposite situation happening starting with Murrieta. Month over month, Murrieta has 6 fewer sales or is down 8.7%, and year over year, Murrieta has 33 fewer sales from this February versus last February. Temecula is landing in the middle of these 2 cities. Month over month, Temecula has 2 fewer closed sales, and year over year, Temecula has 17 fewer closed sales, which is a decrease of 20.5% year over year. So people thought last year's sales volume was low and it couldn't get worse. Well, it can get worse, and this year is starting out slower than last. Median days on market across all 3 cities year over year has increased. It's taking longer for homes to sell well, and we're seeing that pretty much nationwide. That's been a trend in the housing market currently. Buyers are taking their time. Month over month, we're seeing normal seasonal trends. Starting with Menifee, month over month, it's taking 1 fewer days to sell a home, or 39 days. And again, year over year, it's up. It's taking 10 more days to sell a home in Menifee. Median days on market in Murrieta, month over month, is down 9 days. And this is seasonally typical. So we went from 40 days in January to 31 in February. It's normal to see the median days to decrease as we head into the spring selling season. Year over year, it's taking 12 more days to sell a home in Murrieta. So again, buyers are taking their time a little bit more. Median days on market in Temecula, month over month, has decreased 8 days. Again, seasonally typical. This is what I would expect to see. And year over year, it has increased 9 days, which is quite consistent with the other 2 cities. Moving on to active listings. Across all 3 cities, we do have more inventory year over year, and it's a mixed bag month over month. So let's start with Menifee. Month over month, you have 18 more active listings, which is going in the direction that we would expect to see as we get into the busy season. But 18 for Menifee is not very much. That's only a 5% increase month over month. Year over year, there is 100 more homes, or an increase of 35.8%. So a lot more options for buyers to choose from in Menifee. Murrieta, month over month, there is 5 fewer active listings. So Murrieta is going the wrong direction. We'll see how the March stats look. I do expect to be getting more listings in Murrieta. Year over year, there has been an increase of 44 listings, or 18.1%. Moving on to Temecula, month over month, there is 25 more active listings, so that's an increase of 10.2%. And year over year, there is an increase of 59 active listings, and that is a 27.8% increase. I'll say one thing briefly about these active listings increasing year over year. That's why we're also seeing some softening in pricing, where we're seeing the sellers a little bit more negotiable because the buyers have more homes to choose from. There's more active listings on the market. Last stat that we're going to look at that we already touched on briefly, which is new listings. And again, we have Menifee going one direction, and we have Murrieta and Temecula going the opposite direction. So especially month over month, we'll start with that stat. So new listings as of last month in February. So how many new homes came to the market just in that month is 26 new listings month over month. Year over year, there's an increase of 52 new listings. So like I said, increase in Menifee. New listings in Murrieta and Temecula, however, have decreased month over month by 6 homes. So this was the stat that I was talking about earlier. That is a little bit perplexing as we head into the busy season. Month over month, new listings are coming down. So 6 homes, that is a decrease of 4.6%. Year over year, we have 3 fewer new listings in Murrieta. New listings in Temecula month over month has decreased as well. 7 homes, that's a decrease of 5.4 homes. So we need more inventory in these 2 cities especially, and we're going the wrong direction. Year over year, we have 4 more new listings. So that's pretty anemic as well, and that's kind of been the story of the low housing inventory situation for a long time. Hope you found this information helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next week. Bye.